What if I told you that the secret to a productive life, the life that attracts wealth, peace of mind, satisfaction, and fulfillment, could be found in one habit, one daily decision, one mental discipline that if you practiced it relentlessly, would rearrange the very structure of your future? This isn't some trick. It isn't magic. It's the kind of success principle that most ignore because it sounds too simple, too obvious. But mark my words, the man who wins is not the one who knows everything. The man who wins is the one who does the simple things consistently without excuse. He finds what works, and he stays with it long after others get bored, distracted, or discouraged. Now, let me speak plainly. Success favors the man who thinks in advance. Success favors the one who trains his mind to operate with intention, not impulse. And if you want to increase your productivity, there's one action you must begin doing every single day, before the day begins, before the noise arrives, before anyone or anything else gets a piece of your attention. Here it is. Write down your purpose for the day. Not your schedule, not your appointments, not your full to-do list. Your purpose. What are you building today? What are you focused on today? What one thing must be accomplished to move you closer to the vision you have declared for your life? Don't underestimate this. This isn't a suggestion, it is a command for those who are serious about rising above average. Because listen to me closely. The day you begin without direction is the day that direction will be stolen from you. Someone else will define your priorities. Someone else will get your best energy. The world is full of noise, full of people and platforms and distractions designed to pull your mind away from your mission. And if you allow your day to begin in drift, then your entire life becomes a reaction instead of a creation. But when you wake up and write, when you declare your intent with clarity and conviction, you step into the world not as a victim of time, but as a master of it. You reclaim your power. You signal to your subconscious mind, this is what matters today. And from that point forward, your thoughts, your focus, your energy, your behavior, they all begin to fall in line. Let's not overcomplicate this. You don't need fancy tools. You don't need an app. You don't need the latest system. You need a pen. You need paper. You need 5 minutes of silence. And you need to ask one powerful question. What am I building today that aligns with the life I've decided to create? Your answer may be a project. It may be a phone call. It may be completing something you've been avoiding. It may be a strategic action that supports your definite major purpose. But it cannot be vague. It cannot be scattered. It cannot be reactive. You must choose, decide, declare. And once you write it down, you've made a contract with yourself. Now I want you to understand something deeper. This simple act, done daily, is not just about increasing your output. It's about programming your mind. Every time you sit in silence and set intention, you are giving your subconscious a target. You are training your mental faculties, your imagination, your faith, your discipline to work together toward a common goal. Do this every morning, and the world begins to rearrange itself around your decisions. People say, things are just working out for me. No, that's not an accident. It's the result of a man who no longer wakes up in confusion. It's the result of a man who commands his mornings. It's the result of a man who has eliminated randomness. You don't need more energy. You need more clarity. And clarity begins on the page. Now hear me. This one thing, this daily discipline, must not become a suggestion. It must be a rule. Non-negotiable, sacred, because the mind craves order. And if you don't give it order, it will fall into chaos. If you don't give it structure, it will latch on to distraction. You've seen this before. You begin a day with no plan, and suddenly you're responding to emails, caught in meetings, scrolling endlessly, finishing the day exhausted, but with nothing truly meaningful accomplished. That isn't because you're lazy. It's because you didn't take command. And if you're going to build a life that reflects power, you must become a man of precision. Every day must begin with a decision. You decide what gets your energy. You decide what earns your focus. You decide who you are becoming and what that version of you would do today to move the mission forward. This isn't about doing more. This is about doing what matters better, clearer, and with more consistency than anyone else around you. And the way you do that, write it down. Now let's get specific. Here's how to apply this one habit. Step 1, wake up without chaos. No phones, no screens, no immediate distraction. You begin your day with silence, not because it's trendy, but because your mind must meet itself before it meets the world. Step 2, sit with your notebook or journal, something physical, something tangible. Digital devices bring digital distractions. Avoid them. This notebook is your command center. You open it. You write today's date. And beneath it, you write this question. What is the single most important thing I must do today to move my purpose forward? Then you answer, clearly, boldly, specifically. Don't list 10 things, just 1, maybe 2, maximum. Productivity is not about volume, it's about value. It's about intention. And when you do this, you anchor your identity in action. You are no longer a man who wonders what to do. You are a man who knows what to do and is committed to doing it. Step 3. Once it's written, you sit in silence for 60 seconds. You visualize that task already complete. You feel the pride, the power, the alignment that comes from following through. You're building momentum before the day begins. That is what creates the edge. That is what separates amateurs from professionals. That is what carves out greatness from the noise of average. And if you're thinking, can it really be this simple? Let me tell you, the principles that govern success have always been simple. It is the undisciplined mind that complicates them. It is the scattered man that rejects them. It is the drifter that wants novelty instead of mastery. But you are not average. You are building something with your life. You are committed to your vision. And you understand that greatness does not come from chaos. It comes from command. So write it down. Every day, without fail. Let others drift. Let others react. You begin with precision. And you end with power. Now that you've established the habit of starting your day with clear written intent, let me remind you why this is so essential, not just for today, but for every day that follows. Your productivity is not a burst. It is not the result of occasional inspiration or a rare stroke of genius. No, true productivity is the consequence of alignment. And alignment is the child of habit, born through repetition and strengthened by focus. The most powerful tool you possess is your ability to deliberately direct your attention. The man who learns to master his attention has already separated himself from 99% of his peers. Because the world is full of distractions. Every day, every moment, something is fighting for a piece of your mind. Notifications, obligations, conversations, entertainment, all of it shouting louder than the quiet voice of purpose. But purpose does not shout. It waits for the one who is still enough, focused enough, disciplined enough to hear it. So you must start each day with the command that everything else must obey. The command comes through writing. The mind responds to clarity. The subconscious responds to certainty. And when you combine both writing and certainty, you begin to rewire the very way you operate. Let me explain further. You are not only writing tasks, you are writing identity. You are telling yourself who you are. You are declaring to your inner world, this is the kind of man I am. This is what I do. This is what matters today. And slowly but surely, your inner world listens. Your mind begins to believe it, your actions begin to reflect it, your results begin to show it. Now hear me again. Repetition is the mother of mastery. You cannot become excellent occasionally. You must become excellent habitually. This is why I say, force consistency into your life and success will follow. That force is not aggression. That force is not chaos. That force is structure, ritual, rhythm. When you begin every day by writing your single most important priority, you develop rhythm. You remove decision fatigue. You eliminate the internal debate that weakens resolve. You wake up, and the decision has already been made. This is what I do. This is what I build. This is where my energy goes. Do this long enough, and you begin to operate from a place of calm power. While others scramble, you act. While others hesitate, you move. While others are distracted, you're already building. Why? Because you wrote it down. Let's now talk about the science of this. Your subconscious mind cannot differentiate between what is real and what is vividly imagined. When you write down your goal, when you declare your intent, and especially when you visualize it as complete, you are engaging the power of autosuggestion. This was not my theory. It is the backbone of every successful life I've studied. When you suggest to your subconscious mind that something will be done, and you do so with belief and repetition, your mind begins to move in the direction of that belief. You notice the right people. You attract the right resources. You develop the energy to persist. You receive ideas you didn't have before. This is not fantasy. It is mental discipline. And it begins with that pen in your hand. The problem is, most people wait for clarity. They wait for the schedule to open up. They wait for the pressure to disappear. They wait for permission. Winners don't wait. They decide. And they decide every day. This is why your morning writing matters so much. Because when you sit down and declare, this is what I will do today, you are removing the illusion of choice. You are removing the negotiation. You are removing the confusion. You are declaring. And declaration is a seed of creation. Now, let me speak to the man who struggles with follow-through. You've written things before. You've made promises to yourself. And maybe you've broken them. Understand this. It's not the failure that defines you. It's the willingness to start again, this time with structure. That structure is what your mind craves. And daily writing gives you that structure. It tells your mind, this is what matters. It silences the noise. It reduces overwhelm. It sharpens your awareness. And here's the truth. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. The first few days may feel forced. You may feel resistance. That is your old identity trying to hold on. But if you persist, if you show up, if you write it, if you mean it, you will break through. And once you break through, you'll experience something few ever will. You'll experience momentum. And momentum is one of the most powerful forces in life. When you've been consistent for a week, it's easier to go 2. When you've been consistent for a month, your entire mindset shifts. When you've been consistent for a year, your life changes completely. And it all begins with a 5-minute practice most people are too lazy to adopt. But you are not most people. You are here to master your mind. You are here to program your productivity. You are here to dominate your days before they dominate you. Now, let's talk about environment. Your morning writing is only as effective as the space you give it. Create a space that invites focus. It doesn't have to be elaborate, but it must be intentional. No distractions. No screens. Just you, your notebook, and your thoughts. This space becomes sacred. It becomes a signal to your brain. Now we command. Now we declare. Your brain loves patterns. Use that to your advantage. Same place, same time, same rhythm. Every morning. And over time, your brain will slip into flow faster. It will begin to associate this environment with clarity. You won't have to fight for focus. It'll greet you. This is the magic of structure. It supports your mission, even when your motivation wavers. Now, I know what some will say, but what if I miss a day? Then you get back on track immediately. Do not negotiate. Do not let it slip twice. One miss is a mistake. 2 is a pattern. 3 is a habit. You are building something too important to allow comfort to sabotage it. And let me say this again. This is not about being perfect. This is about being relentless. You write it down because your future demands it. You write it down because your success depends on it. You write it down because clarity is power, and power belongs to the man who takes action. This one practice done with discipline will create ripple effects in every area of your life. Your time will become sacred. Your focus will become sharper. Your standards will rise. Your confidence will grow. And most importantly, you will begin to trust yourself again. Because when a man says, "This is what I will do today," and he does it, he rebuilds his integrity. And integrity is the foundation of every great life. You don't need more time. You need more clarity. And you don't find clarity, you create it. With a pen, with intention, with discipline. Do this one thing daily, and success will no longer feel random. It will feel inevitable. Now you know the tool. You've been given the secret most never use. A pen, a notebook, a quiet moment, a question with the power to rewire your entire existence. What is the most important thing I can do today to move closer to the life I have chosen? And when that question is answered with clarity and then written with certainty, your productivity is no longer based on pressure. It's born from purpose. But let us now speak about the spirit behind this practice. Because while the act of writing is mechanical, the intention is spiritual. You are not merely organizing your day. You are programming your destiny. You are setting the tone for how you walk through the hours ahead. Your pen becomes your command, and your words are the first manifestation of your will. When a man wakes up and simply reacts to life, he becomes a slave to circumstances. But when a man rises and writes his direction, he becomes a master over them. This is what separates average existence from exceptional performance. So let us be bold now. Let us take this further. Because the man who commits to this practice does not just gain clarity, he begins to cultivate power. And power in the form of self-command is the rarest and most valuable asset on earth. You must understand that all success begins with decision. But decisions must be repeated. They must be reinforced. They must be remembered. Writing them down daily forces alignment. It brings your outer world into agreement with your inner truth. And when that happens, when mind and action and intention move in the same direction, you become unstoppable. Every success story, every life of greatness, every legacy that endures, it all begins the same way, with an idea clearly defined and obsessively pursued. And how do we define an idea clearly? We write it down. We repeat it. We visualize it. We make it real through words long before it becomes reality in the world. You have the same power. Right now, every morning, the mind is the workshop of man. But a workshop must be organized. Tools must be in place, plans must be drawn, execution must be deliberate. This is what your morning writing gives you. Mental order, and here is the truth I discovered through years of study, through speaking with men who built industries and shaped empires, those who rose above the common, who achieved the extraordinary. They all had this in common. They began their day on purpose, not by accident, not by drift, not by luck, but by design. And design begins with thought captured in ink. But let us go even deeper. When you write your priority, when you declare your intent, you are not just choosing what to do, you are choosing what not to do. You are rejecting distraction. You are denying diffusion. You are eliminating the unnecessary. This is one of the greatest gifts of this habit. The power of subtraction. When you know what matters most, you can confidently say no to what doesn't. And the man who knows how to say no to others, to impulses, to lesser tasks, is the man who will always move faster than those who try to do it all. Focus is the companion of power, but focus requires boundaries, and boundaries require clarity. And clarity is the result of right.